Yes. Chantel, you on? Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I hope that everybody is having a great, great, great Saturday, right? Because I know I am. I know I am. We're just going to give it a few minutes for a few more people to come on. So we'll just wait on that, all right? We will just wait. If y'all have any questions, just add them to the chat as we continue, right? All right, let's see if we can get some music going on. Right? For those of you that missed the Dirty 30 chat this morning, about 30 minutes ago, about an hour ago, we were really talking about mindset and how you have to prepare yourself before you get into this market, right? It's all about who you know, not what you know. Kind of sum it up, right? And it's good to have those kind of people within your network. And through networking, you find, people who are going to excel you in your career or through this trading journey, right? So that's pretty much all we talked about. Just in case if anybody was asking if it was recorded or we really was talking about mindset. While we wait on more participants, we're going to watch, you're going to listen to this motivational speaking by Denzel Washington.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks.
Tell me what y'all think.
Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept.
Right? I never understood it too, right? A lot of people will tell you you need a backup plan, you need this, you need that in order to survive. Well, this is your survival time, right? Forex trading. Trading the currency pairs is your backup plan. That is the only backup plan that you need, right?
Concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish.
Y'all heard that? without consistency. A lot of people will try their best to come up with excuses to not trade the market, right? They will come and stop, Miguel. They will come up with so many excuses to not trade, right? So just pay attention, right?
So do what you feel passionate about.
Right.
Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams out goals. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs.
So that really hit, right? People don't worry about the strikeouts. They worry about the home runs, right? But in the market, most, not all, most people worry about how much money they're losing, how many negative trades they've encountered, how many negative trades they've been in. They don't look at that one positive trade. They do not, right? Right? So when your account is negative, yes, it's okay, but worry about that one positive effect that affected you, right? And yeah, I know this video a lot because I've analyzed this video in marketing class, right? So I know this video. I've watched this video plenty of times with Denzel Washington has, talked about this.
Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the
1,000 experiments, 1,000 negative trades, but that one trade could turn your perspective on the market.
And first was the light bulb. Fall forward.
Not backwards.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that.
You heard that? You gotta take risks. You can't be complacent in the market. Sometimes you're just gonna have to take risks in order to grow your account. I'm not telling you to over leverage, but I'm telling you to take the necessary risks in order to profit off of those.
But I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose.
Okay.
You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought.
All right, let's start. That's the cue, right? Let's start. Thank you, Shantae. Yeah, so most people take that video and turn it into something positive. Most people don't. So the overall concept of the video is to don't focus so much on the negativity. Focus on that one thing that brings life, that speaks life, that translates things into better things, right? And yeah, I don't want to talk about mindset too much because I've already covered it. But it is so important that you must understand that Forex trading is 90% mental, if not almost 100%. Right? The other 10% is you actually putting in the trade, I'd say. Right? Hold on, get back. Okay. All right. So let's get this started, right? So I hope you have your pen and paper out, because I haven't really done this, but what I'm about to give you is steps in trading these harmonic patterns. So step 1, look for your low and look for your high. So step 1, drop your trend line or your support and resistance. Support, let's look for that high, right? We'll say this is a high. All right. Now, let's see if we can find a let's see if we can find a pattern that goes with it, right? I'm not actually seeing a pattern right now. I'm not actually seeing a pattern, but let's just see, right? Let's kind of zoom in on the 15-minute chart, see if we can come up with a pattern, right? All right, let's see, right? A lot of consolidation going on, right? Not really a pattern. But I really wanted to focus on not only harmonic patterns, but also the cloud, right? My settings are a little bit different. So 6, 13, 26, and 1. And with the 1, it really gives me, like, I'll show you right here. It kind of gives me a better, we'll just use 6, 13, the original settings of Dr. K's cloud, right? So not really showing a pattern right here, right? Doesn't look like it. But let's see if we can kind of go over and see what we can indulge ourselves in, right? X, A, B, C, D. Okay, I can see a pattern right here. X, A, B, C, D. All right. And then with those, so you have your main trend lines, right? Your high supports, your high resistance, and then your high supports. But then you dig in deeper, and then you find, your smaller support and resistance lines. Y'all kind of get me, right? And then you kind of just work off of those, right? X, A, B, C, D, right? So we're going to go through like a mini patterns, right? So we can start right here, right? X, A, B, C, D, right? Notice that pattern, right? Forming that W. That's kind of what you want to look for, right? You want to look for that triangle right up in the middle, right? And then you can also, find another pattern that goes along with it. I'd say just look for the M's and W's, right? X, A, B, C, D. Perfect, but it did give you that entry point, right? And then really the entry point is kind of like you want to get. So if it's, let's say it's if you're looking at the D and you're looking for a sale, right? So you zoom in and you look for a resistance type when you look for the D, right? So look for that resistance. It resisted, right under that support line right there, and then continue going. It shot into a sale, right? You want to look for that resistance where you're looking for a sale, right? And when you're looking for a buy, you want to look for that support, right? This is an example of resistance. So you can think about it like this. When looking for sales, you're looking for it to resist the line. You're looking for it to resist the resistance line, right? And when you're looking for a buy, you're looking for it to resist the support line, right? So if I go like this, anybody having trouble? Let's see if I can. And the reason I'm doing it on Ripple because right now it's a live chart, right? Just because. Let's kind of bring it farther out. D, right? Okay, so let's do this, right? I could say this is kind of like it acted as a support right here, right? And these, you're really just drawing up, a simple support and resistance lines, right? so many support and resistance lines. So when I'm looking for a buy, I'm looking for that resistance line, right? X, A, right here, B. Oh, wait a minute. Let me zoom out. All right, perfect. All right. So yeah, when you're looking for a buy, you want to look for that resistance, where it resisted from going any further down. All right, B, C, boom, right? I can say this is a pretty good pattern, right? Resisted right about here, resisted that line, right? That support. And really when you're doing these, they're almost like, you know, support and resistance lines, like the pattern itself, right? I don't want to dive too much into it, but let's just say, I'm not for sure. I know we covered Fibonacci numbers last time we were doing this. Is anybody familiar with Fibonacci numbers? So I can further explain it, or let me know in the chat if I need to go about explaining Fibonacci numbers or Fibonacci retracements, I would say. If not, then I continue doing my thing, right? Nope, everybody's good. Okay, all right. So it comes with practice, right? You have to have the right. You have to know what you're doing when you're doing these things, because when marking up these charts with these harmonic patterns, what you're really looking for is you're looking for a price reversal. Well, hey, they took profit right here, right? They're no longer in the market. And investors got out, you know, banks got out, whatever, what have you, and then they rolled it back up, you know. They either hop back in or another venture got into it and moved the market in another direction, right? That's really what you're looking for. You're looking for possible reversal zones when you're doing these patterns, right? And then it can kind of get tricky because these aren't really, right? This isn't really a pattern. I guess you could X, A, B, C, D, X, A, B, C, D, right? These are, I wouldn't focus too much on these because it's too much consolidation going on here, right? So if we look at, we can go to GBP USD. Let's just, pull up that, right? All right. Something I kind of already drew up on, right? GBP USD for the last, looks like week was going to a, looks like a buy. X, A, B, C, D. No. So let's find a reversal zone. X, A, B, C, D. Perfect, right here. So let's drop some support and resistance, right? And y'all should be familiar with support and resistance. And I'm not really going to go too much over it because it's really simple. You just look at where the candles have already resisted, like it made a minor or a major resistance, right? And it reversed, right? So let's look at this. This looks like a perfect example, right? So this right here, right there, right? So let's look at that. If y'all have any questions, just let me know. All right. X, A, B, C, D, right? Not perfect, but it did form a pattern. But what you really wanted to see is something kind of like this, where the market went up just a little bit, kind of forming that better W, that better pattern, right? Forming that perfect triangle in the middle. But you don't always get perfect setups with these, right? And then I'm also going to talk about stop loss. So really, I try to put like a 10 pips stop loss, right above, the D, if not a little further. It kind of gives me that wiggle room to kind of, not, blow my account when I'm trying to catch this huge divergence of a move, right? Right. And also from here, you can also look at another pattern, right? So let's see if we can find a pattern like this. All right, X, C. No, see, it's not forming a pattern, right? So you don't want to draw something like this, right? And, you know, that doesn't even make sense, because what you see is the market, you know, it didn't move in a triangle, right? It did its curve, right? It did its curve. So you don't want to look for things. You don't want to look for, you know, a market moving like that in a curve. You want a stiff market where it's like triangles, right? Because with triangles you have these deep impulse moves, right? And that's what you really want to see from the market, right? This kind of formed a triangle. It wasn't perfect, but it didn't form that huge loop like it did down here. It kind of formed that straight angle, right? Oh, sorry about that. So that's what we want to look for. We want to look for triangles, like a stiff market, right? That's what we want to look for, right? And I'm also going to go. So I'm going to, dig into also market structure, right? So let's talk about market structure for just a little bit, right? So if we look at the hour, let's go to like a higher time frame, right? Let me explain this. Let's see what we can get ourselves into, right? So let's like delete delete this. Let's talk about flags in the market. Everybody knows what a flag is, right? At least, I mean, you kind of get the gist of it, right? A flag, like let's say the referee throws the flag down and then he picks it back up, right? That's pretty much what like whatever, right? So these are what you call flags, right? Ooh, that was not supposed to happen, right? Let's see if I can do it. All right, let's do trend lines, right? These are what you call flags, right? Let's move it up. Not so perfect, but these are what you call flags. Some are larger than others, some are less, right? Flag. Flag on the plate, right? Yeah. All that good stuff, right? Flag. That was a better flag, right? And even then, you can also look at this right here. This could be a major, what we call a major flag, right? Right. We can call this like a major flag. Not a perfect one. Kind of extend that out. Not too perfect, but it's similar to a flag, right? That's but really what I like to look at are not so much of these larger ones, right? I like to look at these smaller ones, right? Because I know that the market, is doing its own thing, and then it kind of creates that curve at the bottom, right? When it creates a sort of curve, right, you know that it's going to either pull back, right? Most of the time, it usually doesn't, continue. And if you also look at the cloud, you notice that the cloud show a strong support line right here within itself, right? So the market reversed itself on that cloud, right? What else? X, A, B, C, E. And what I tell you is you can also I don't do this much. As a matter of fact, I don't do it at all. But when you're looking for these moves, you can also do parallel parallel harmonic patterns, right? They don't show you this, but you can. So if you just start with your regular patterns, like write this: X, A, B, C, D. Not so perfect, but if you see that D at where the D is at, right? That's where it kind of did its move, right? X, A, B, right? C. So what we can see is, if we get rid of this, see if I can draw one better, right? All right. So we can start right here. Call this a simple support X, A, B, sideways, right? Something like this, right? And then A to continue going up into a buy, right? Because you can see on GBP USD on the hour chart, you see the cloud has acted as a support. And if the market opens back up, well, then we can see GBP USD going into a buy. So the goal is to get off by 5:45, right? That's the goal, right? That is the goal. Does anybody have like a specific pair they would like to see, or a specific strategy you would want to kind of add into it? If not, then I'll just continue on. All right. All right. Let's look at what can we look at? US 30. Right. That's a popular pair. Everybody likes to use. Right. Gold. Yeah, we can look at gold. Yeah. Thanks. So if you're not aware, we are in a recession. Just to let y'all know that, right? You know we are in a recession when gold is greater than the US dollar. All right. So let me get rid of all this, because somehow I'm always drawing up on stuff. Thank you, gold. Okay. So gold is tricky, because gold, does its own thing, right? So I'm gonna have to break it down with gold. It's a little, it's a little tricky. So let me draw up some support resistance lines for gold, right? I'm going to follow strictly the cloud. Wherever I see a resistance or support line from the cloud, that's how I'm going to draw. So the money line, I'm also going to look at the support and resistance of the cloud, right? That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for support and resistance zones. Support right here, right? Support right here, right? Then we're going to look at our clear resistance zones. And by clear, meaning the money line right here is not touching the market. It's not within the market, right? It's not, what's the word? It's not consolidating. That's the word. It's not consolidating within the market itself, right? And the reason why your take profits hit so fast, or you're getting profit very fast, you have to really indulge yourself in the cloud. Because when Dr. K gives you a profit, a take profit or whatever, she doesn't look at all of this, what's happening, right? She looks to see if this money line right here, which is clear of everything, as your take profit, or this right here as a take profit, or this right here as a take profit, right? Or this right here as a take profit. If you see the cloud alone, look for take profit or resistance. Take profit or stop losses, or resistance or support. If you see the money line alone, then look for take profits or stop losses, or resistance and support lines, right? So on the hour chart, right? X, A, B, C. So let's draw up a. Let me draw it up on the 4 hour. Let me kind of go even further. Oh, here we go, right? Here we go. X, A, B. So gold looks like, now I'm going to do some market structure with gold. Gold is going to continue going into a buy for the, for the week. It's going to continue going into a buy. Continue. All right. Yes, it did kind of broke that support. Resistance, kind of resisted through these lines. But then again, I still can see gold continuing up, right? And even if you look, gold has been continuing up in the, in a trend for quite a while, right? So you look right here, it did that, you know, right here, that move, right? Correcting itself, right? And then also continuing doing this thing, right? It's kind of what gold has been doing, right? Gold, if I wish I could have caught all of this, right? But yeah, that's what gold has been doing. And then right here, it's kind of been, at one point, it was consolidating, right, at the beginning of the year, because we weren't for sure if it was going, you know, if the United States was actually going to go into a recession or not, right? So most definitely, when you see gold going up, which it has been for the past June, July, August, September, 4 months. So yeah, you know, the economy isn't doing this thing, right? It just isn't doing this thing, right? So yeah, I can see gold continuing up. We can also go all the way to the day, right? Most definitely, right? Right. So on the day, gold created that flag, right? Y'all know how that flag works. Throw it down, and then you pick it back up, and then it just continues going up. And also did it right here, right? But to
Under there that burst apparently.
say what?
But I remember like before my dad had said this was like a while ago. He had said that it was like a brown line like going down the middle. And he was like, it looks like maybe your septic or something might be burst.
Septic. I don't know what she talking about. Is she talking? Anyway, all right. Yeah, I can see gold going, and then the cloud looks thick too. So, yeah, the cloud. You know, gold is going to do its own thing for quite a while. X, A, B, C, D, and then let's see. We can also draw up a pattern right on the day. X, not perfect, but we can kind of see where gold is going to continue going up. Right? Kind of see it. Let me kind of get rid of all this stuff I got going on. All right. That way you can see gold on a better scope. So let me zoom in for y'all. All right, this is what I can see gold as, right? So when I tell you, you look for your resistance when you're looking for that buy, and look for your support when you're looking for that sell, right? So yeah, it didn't do a perfect pattern, but this is a pretty good pattern that it did, or that it's showing us, right? Move this over quite a bit. Move this up quite a bit. Yeah. So if y'all are in a sale, gold is going to continue going up. So just let y'all know that for quite a while. And whenever there's a recession, whenever the economy is going bad, you're going to see these commodities continue to go up, like or natural gas or either oil, right? Because U.S. dollar, pretty much means nothing when the economy is failing to do right. What else? What else? Y'all like gold. What else do y'all like? Gold is kind of hard to drop on the 15-minute because it throws these wicks, right? That's why I kind of like to go on the hour chart, 4-hour day, and then so on and so forth. Whereas gold kind of does its own thing. Like it's hard to affect gold, right? US 30. Yeah, I can do US 30 too. So what? I don't think I told y'all this, but so US 30. Ooh, I did a lot of drawing up on US 30. Right. So let me tell you all about US 30. So with US 30, right? I don't know if I told y'all this. It doesn't matter about the numbers in US 30. This is what I learned. They teach this in class, and I've been trying to pay attention, right? So it's not about the numbers. So if a person's share within those 30 companies of US 30, because US 30 is, top 30 companies of US, right? Fortune 500 companies. If one of those companies' shares are down, then it's going to affect the market. I mean, it's going to affect US 30. So people wonder why US 30, is doing its own thing, or is selling one day and is buying the next, or selling 1 minute and is buying the next minute. Something within that company that, and that we don't have control over it, right? Somebody, it doesn't matter if that person has 1,000 worth of shares or $1 worth of shares. It's going to affect US 30 as a whole, those 30 companies as a whole, because they all work together, right? So you can mark up US 30 all you want. It can go, to your advantage, but just know when it doesn't go to your advantage, then, possibly something happened within those companies that we have no control over, right? So US 30. I drew up US 30 quite a while. So if I extend this out, and this is about Fibonacci, right? Let's just get rid of this. Remove all drawing tools. All right. Let's just draw up our regular support and resistance. So with US 30, I really can't tell you if it's going to open up into a buy or a sell, right? I have no clue, because, the great 40, president could possibly say something that affects these markets. And also the president also affects everything almost, right? So yeah, you can do market structure within these, these indices, right? Or US 30, GER 30. But what you really want to look at is for those impulse moves, right? You want to look for moves like this. You want to look for the cloud, because that's really what's going to tell you how the US 30 is really going to move, or how these indices are going to move. Because it's hard to be in a trend, right? It really is hard. I know some people can do it. Anyone else get on to train? No, it's locked. That's about it. No one else can get on this training, but it will be recorded. So just check Telegram. It should be posted in there later on today or the next day. What was I talking about? So yeah, with US 30, you really have to kind of pay attention, because you can lose a lot of money and you can make a lot of money, right? And I could, do a X, A, B, C. I could do a pattern. Let's see, right? Let's just look at it. Let's see if we can come up with something, right? A, B, right? Something like this. But really, if you look at that C, where you would really want that market to do something like this, this is what should have happened, or would like to happen, right? This, and then continue going up. That's kind of how I would like to see the market to go favor within favor with this harmonic pattern. I mean, I could have, extended it like this, right? But that doesn't even look like, almost like a pattern. Or, it could have been something like this, right? So, US 30, kind of does its own thing, within this, it would be different if we actually knew what was going on within that company, but we don't. Well, within those 30 companies, right? I haven't done a lot of training on US 30 because I don't trade it a lot, because it's such volatile. Everybody's talking about it. Somebody's or something is affecting it, right? But overall, I can see US 30 continuing into a buy. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it has done its consolidation throughout, but it looks like it threw that flag that one last time, right? Which was right here. Right, through that flag. And really what we can see is, if we look to the left of the market, let's just see where it's going, right? So remember what I told y'all, to look for the money line where it's where it's not inside the consolidation or it's not inside the market. So right here, if you want to get in for a buy and US 30, opens up, then I can see US 30 continuing going up, right? And then let me zoom out a little bit, right? Look to the left even more. Was that the high? It might have been, right? What we could see US 30 is it could go up right here. Let's see. It can either go to this line or continue going up, making this new high or however, or you can see it throwing that flag again, right? Throwing that flag, right? And then also continue going up, right? That's kind of what you can see with US 30. So US 30, I believe, is going to continue on to a buy. GBP USD. Let's look at this one last thing because we'll be off in 4 minutes because this is a Saturday. And yeah. So GBP USD, we can go to the 15-minute, right? And then we'll work our way up. So GBP USD looks like a downtrend. So look for that money line, right? Where it's nothing's by that money line, right? Nothing's by. So what you can see GBP USD is you can see either going to this line right here as a sell, or it can continue going to this money line down here. Wait, there's another support line. See where that money line is at right here? Boom, away from the market. Boom, there we go. All right, that could be your 3 take profits. You never know. So you see gold continuing to buy, and US as well. No, can happen at times. Yeah, it can happen. Like some people say that when US 30 is buying, Bitcoin to sell, or when Bitcoin is sell, US 30 is buying. Well, in some cases it works like that, but in a few cases it doesn't. Sometimes it just go against, right? Sometimes you have stronger forces that affect something, and it just goes against the nature. Do you know what I'm trying to say, right? Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And I hate it that it doesn't, right? Because you would want to see a pair correlating with each other, right? If you're in US 30, then yeah, I want to get in Bitcoin, for the opposite, so I can make profit in both ways. But sometimes it doesn't because one factor can be controlling that heavily, right? And that's what we can see, right? So GBP USD, I'm looking for a sell for next week. On the 15-minute Sunday, all right? And what I tell y'all is look at the cloud specifically and then look at the money line, because those give you your support resistance and they give you your take, it's too simple not to follow through, right? It's too simple, right? What else? I think that's about it. It's got a minute left. If anybody has anything they would like to input, now's your time. Also, I do like when the market does this whole thing right here, right? I like when the market does this. This is what I like, because sometimes what the market will do is it will go against, what we just did. Me saying that GBP USD is going to go into a sell, right? Sometimes it can actually hit, right? It can hit this, right? It can continue going down, hit this minor support, and then do a TK cross, right? Let's say that the cloud is doing this thing, and then you notice like a cross within the cloud, right? A cross within the cloud. Then what the market can do is, you see that cross, and then all of a sudden it goes through that cross and continues going into a buy. And this is also a flag too, as well. It looks like it's also forming a flag, right? Because what flags do is they continue going down, all right, until they hit that last support, and then they'll follow through, they'll follow up. So you just have to kind of be cognizant or aware of that, right? Coach a little how to use cloud support. Cloud support resistance. Okay. So when you're looking for cloud support resistance, so it's really simple. So at the top of your cloud would be your resistance. At the bottom of your cloud would be your support, right? So if you go over here and you pick the horizontal line, so at the very top of the cloud is your support. Let me get rid of all these for y'all. Move. And this will be the last time we talk about. This will be the last thing we say. So yeah, top of your cloud is your resistance, bottom is your support. So if we look over here, this would be your support, right? At that dip in the cloud, right? This would be your support. This would be your support, right? Because it's flat, right? This would not be your support and resistance. Don't rely on something minor like this, because what happened was, if I were to change my settings, right, to 1, it crossed right through there. Y'all saw that? It crossed perfectly. It crossed right through there. So don't rely on those small TK twists to be your support and resistance lines, right? So when you're looking at the cloud, this isn't a support and resistance line, because there isn't. It's going up, right? You look for the flat line of the cloud. This would be your support. In which, if we move it over, if I change the settings, right, to a displacement of 1, right, it did act as a support right here. See how it bounced off, right? So with the displacement of 1, I use a displacement of 1 because that's just how I like to see it, right? It kind of goes, it's really close to the cloud. That's how I see it, right? If you saw 13, right? I'm not telling you to change the settings, but people say, why did it cross right here? There was no TK cross, right? It's doing its own thing. Well, you don't look right here. You look in the future of the cloud. That's what people don't understand. You look right here where it twisted. That's what you really look for. And that's what people fail to realize. That they'll say, well, it doesn't supposed to go into a buy because there's no twist right where the candles are. Yes, obviously, because you have to look into the future, right? So that is all. If y'all have anything else, just add to the chat. And this has been a very productive day, or a productive session, because usually, a lot of people don't have a lot of questions to ask. They're just doing their own thing. But I appreciate everyone who put in input. All right, by US 30, US 30, GV, USD, all that. Why am I awesome? I don't know. It's the Kirklands. It's in the Kirkland name, right? It just flows. I don't know. But y'all have a good Saturday. I hope y'all have a great weekend, right? So, also, yeah, Dr. K did. Yep. Also, I hope that y'all acknowledge that video, because that was really, really, really important. Because I tell you this, don't focus so much on the negative. There's always positivity within the negative outside of things. I continue so what about U.S. oil? What about U.S. oil? All right, last one. I promise, last one. Because I'm tired. Tired, boss. I'm tired. I'm so tired. So we look at Yeah. All right. So U.S. oil. Let's look at U.S. oil. We're going to look at the 4-hour because it moves slow, and the 15-minute. It just moves. Oil itself just moves slow. Gold moves slow. I'm just let y'all know right now. Gold moves slow. Oil moves slow. I mean, it's good profit. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But it's just slow. Right. All right. What y'all can see is, what you can see is you notice that there's resistance right here at the very top. Don't let it fool you because that's not it. But I'm going to explain it to you in a minute why that's not what you need to be looking for. See, this resistance right here was not for these candles. That resistance was for these candles right over here. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because I'm about to show you in a minute. Great training. Here ain't done yet. I'm still on. Thank you. I'm glad it was great. But let me cover this real quick. Right? So if I change my displacement over to that one, you'll see what I'm talking about. Ooh, see? Right? That resistance wasn't for this right here, because if you can see the cloud on the hour chart, and also if you look at the red and the blue cross, the TK cross, you said the blue is above the red on the hour chart on US oil, and also you see the TK cross, right? You see the cloud crossing, and you also see the red and blue line crossing. So what does that tell you about oil when it opens up? Possibly oil is going to continue going into a buy. That's what I can see, right? All right, no more questions. I'm about to take a nap. I'm tired. This is Saturday. Why do we have these trainings on Saturdays? You tell me. I hope y'all have a good weekend. All right.